How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC São Paulo, Almeida vs. Lewis on November 4th, 2023. Let's get right into it with the first fight of 11. We start in the lightweight division with Caillou Fernandez versus Jaehy. Let's start with Fernandez. His last fight was a win against Felipe Douglas in March of 2023. Caillou's got a decent sprawl, which means he's got good takedown defense, able to get up off his back. His kicks are a big asset to his game plan. He throws them to the leg and head, uses his lead left hand a shit ton, jabbing, throwing hooks, check hooks. It's probably one of his biggest assets aside from the kicks. Decent BJJ off his back. He's constantly throwing subs whenever he's on the ground. He's very aggressive with his pressure. He's always trying to put the other person against the cage. Caillou can get taken down though, and sometimes he overextends, allowing takedowns to happen. Loopy punches, and not like crazy power in his hands. He's not gonna like one punch knock anybody out. We go to Jaehy. His last fight was a loss against Joel Alvarez in July of 2023. The weird one where he got hit in the back of the head, but the ref didn't see it. Mark is a great chain wrestler against people who cannot defend a takedown to save their life. Good leg kicks, good clinch work. His right kick to the body, it's kind of thrown like a teep, but it has some arc to it. He likes to use that a lot. Sneaky power in his right hand with that one punch knockout he had over, I forgot his name. Not a crazy ton of volume from Mark though, and he generally swings very big. He puts a lot of his effort in every punch, which doesn't allow him to throw combos. He can get clipped and he overextends sometimes. That being said, I'm going to pick a Jaehy by unanimous decision. I feel Caillou is just going to get taken down a shit ton by Mark. Mark's style is built beautifully for guys like Caillou Fernandez. Mark is just going to ragdoll this fucking kid. We move to the next fight, which is a women's strawweight fight with Eduardo Moira versus Montserrat Caneo Ruiz. Let's start with Eduardo. Her last fight was a win against Janina Silva in August of 2023 on the Contender Series. Beautiful takedown entries. She's super strong, by the way. Constantly looking for places to throw ground and pound. She loves the counter mount, which is when they have the lead leg pressed against their own stomach and then they're holding the other leg down with their own leg. It's fucking brutal to watch. She loves to be postured up, throwing ground and pound, which is something I kind of mentioned earlier. She breaks them down and then submits them. The only issue I personally see is that she sometimes leaves one arm in and one arm out, which can lead to like arm bars and triangles and shit, but other than that, Eduardo's pretty good. Let's go to Montserrat. Montserrat's last fight was a loss against Jacqueline Amorim in August of 2023. Decent wrestling. She's got good control when she's on top. Montserrat's a bit wild on the feet. Bad takedown defense added onto that. She leaves openings on the feet because she likes to rush. Really struggles to get back up. She's got huge heart though, but God, does she just struggle off her back. I'm going to pick Eduardo Moira by first round submission. I'm guessing armbar. I just think that Montserrat's inability to get back up is going to cost her this fight. Simple as that. We stay at women's strawweight with a ranked battle with Angela Hill taking on Denise Gomez to defend her ranked spot. Let's start with Angela. Last fight was a loss against Mackenzie Dern in May of 2023. Slick kickboxing combos. Her right side leg kick is pretty good. She throws it quite often. Decent ones and twos. Overwhelming pressure when she fights the right people who aren't pressuring her back. Decent takedown defense for the most part. Mackenzie Dern kind of like just held her down and held her in the clinch for a while, but she only got taken down 3 times. Decent cardio as well. Her Muay Thai clinch is pretty good. That's where she came from. Angela leaves some openings on the feet, but when she's on her back, she also struggles a shit ton. Not a ton of power coming from the way of Angela. Let's go to Denise. Her last fight was a win against Yasmin Yarugi in July of 2023. Insane power in this lady's right hand. When blood's in the water, she pounces. Her 1-2 is beautiful. That's what she dropped Yasmin with in the first 10 seconds. Good control in the clinch, including strikes like knees and elbows. Good takedown defense. Crazy is the word I'd use to describe Denise Gomez. Lots of pressure. She can struggle off her back, though. We've seen that before. I say Denise Gomez gets a first-round knockout. Angela has been clipped heavily in the first round before by Amanda Lemos. She's been clipped hard before in the first round by Mackenzie Dern. I think Denise Gomez carries a different form of power, and I think she's going to get the first round TKO, possibly with the same thing she hit Yasmin Yarugi with, just a 1-2 straight down the pipe. We move all the way up to light heavyweight with Vitor Petrino taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Let's start with Vitor. Last fight was a win against Marcin Prachnio in July of 2023. He's strong. everywhere. And I'm not saying that he's good everywhere. He is strong everywhere. Crazy power on the feet with hooks and jabs. Very strong in the clinch where he can get takedowns, trips, and land knees and elbows. Insane control on the ground just purely on his strength. Crazy ass chin as well. He does leave openings on the feet though. And his takedown defense, a little suspect. Let's go to Modestas. His last fight was a win against Zach Bayunga in June of 2023. Very quick on the feet. 1s and 2s rain down from above. He can get back up when he is taken down. He loves a counter left hook. He loves whatever stance he's in because he likes to switch stances, which is something I have labeled as well. He will throw whatever his lead hand is at a hook whenever a straight shot is coming. We've seen why that's an issue with Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. Stance switching feints, like I said. Powerful kicks. His cardio's decent. His jab defense could be better. In that Zach Bayunga fight, he was kind of getting clipped every time whenever Zach threw a jab. He can be held against the fence and taken down. We saw that again in the Zach Bayunga fight. I'm going to pick Vitor Petrino by unanimous decision, 29-28. I don't think Vitor is going to be able to finish Modestas, but I think he's just going to dominate him in a pretty boring fight, if I'm being honest. We move on to welterweight with Renato Fakardinov versus Eliezer Zaleski dos Santos. I'm going to make this one quick. Renat's last fight was a win against Kevin Lee in July of 2023. He's a monster, well-rounded, striking is crisp with 1s and 2s, frequently flowing. His clinch and groundwork is crazy, and he has submission threats everywhere, not really any holes in his game. We move to Zaleski, whose last fight was a win over Abubakar Nurmagomedov in June of 2023. Explosive at times, his submission threat is always there, unorthodox striker. He uses his right leg a shit ton. Takedown defense is pretty decent, I guess. He does start slow, and he is older, and he has wear and tear. This one's easy. Renato Fakardinov, first round knockout, lock it in. We move on to a lightweight fight with Elvis Brennen versus Kanan Kreski. Let's start with Elvis. His last fight was a win against Guram Kutateladze in July of 2023. Heart is what I'd use to describe Elvis. He has one of the biggest hearts in the UFC, will not give up. Most of Elvis's striking is lunging attacks with jabs and right hooks. Good takedown entries, good control on the ground as well. Pretty good in the pocket as well. He throws a lot of hooks in the pocket and like a phone booth. Decent cardio and pressure on the feet as well. That's what we saw in the Guram Kutateladze fight. He just outwilled Guram. Elvis does leave openings on the feet, and he can get taken down. We move to Kanan, whose last fight was a win against Dylan Montello in September of 2023. Straight punches are pretty good, especially his jab. He's wild in the pocket, throwing looping punches. He has a good back take, though. Kanan is a bit stiff on the feet, and he overthrows at times. Also a weird-looking body. I'm going to go Elvis Brennen by second round TKO. I think Kanan is going to survive the first round with his ground game, but in the second round, Kanan is going to slow down significantly due to him being a short-notice replacement. Elvis is going to take advantage of this and knock him out. We have made it to the beginning of the main card with Rodolfo Vieira versus Armen Petrosian. Let's start with Rodolfo. His last fight was a win against Cody Brundage in April of 2023. Good clinch control and trips. His top ground game is about as good as it gets. Blistering ground and pound and sub attempts. His sub defense is also very good. His jiu-jitsu is fucking insane, alright? His stand-up is lacking quite a bit, and he leaves many openings on the feet. We saw that in the Cody Brundage fight. Cody was close to knocking out Rodolfo Vieira a couple of times. Let's go to Armen. His last fight was a win against Christian Leroy Duncan in June of 2023. Pretty nice kickboxing combos, 1s and 2s mixed with kicks to the leg and body. Especially the leg. He likes to kick the leg. His defense is pretty nice, good head movement, good footwork. His counters are also very good. His cardio is nice, I guess. Good clinch and ground control. He's generally a slower middleweight and not finish-heavy style. He likes to go the distance. He likes to, outwill opponents. That being said, I'm going to pick Armen Petrosian by unanimous decision. I think Armen is just going to outlast Rodolfo, punch his body a little bit, do what Chris Curtis did, just outlast Rodolfo Vieira. That's how you beat him. We get another middleweight banger with Caillou Borralho versus Abbas and Magomedov. Let's start with Caillou. His last fight was a win against Michael Oleksiejczuk in April of 2023. Good leg kicks. His footwork is very nice. His jab is nice. The ground game is his world. Beautiful control and pressure allows him to get submissions. He's got good cardio, especially in the wrestling department. His clinch work is pretty good as well. My big issue with Caillou is his striking defense is a bit suspect. He leaves many openings for overhand shots, and he gets pressured pretty easily early on. Let's go to Abuspian. His last fight was a loss against Sean Strickland in July of 2023, that one fight that he got a main event for some reason. His striking is very dynamic, uses his length very well with ones and twos, push kicks to the body, kicks to the leg and head. His cardio is very bad. Has one very good round in him. His ground game, I don't really know. He's got a couple submission wins. I don't really know how good his ground game is. We've never really seen it, and I didn't feel like researching it. I feel like he's from Russia. His name's Magomedov. But then Sharabutin fucking sucks at takedown defense. I don't care. I'm picking Abuspian Magomedov first round KO. I think with the way Caillou behaves in the first round, I think Abuspian's going to clip him, and he's going to finish him in the first round with a head kick. We go up to heavyweight with Rodrigo Nascimento versus Dante Almeida. Let's start with Rodrigo. His last fight was a win against Ilir Latifi in May of 2023. Good pressure, hooks in the pocket are on point, uses 1 and 2s effectively. His BJJ is aight. He gets taken down and held down. He's very boring. He used to be ranked, but he got taken off the rankings, thank God. Let's go to Dante. His last fight was a win against Andrei Arlovsky in June of 2023. Unorthodox striking with weird techniques. His leg kicks look really funny. He uses his right leg a shit ton with leg kicks, body kicks, spinning wheel kicks as well. His clinch and ground game is decent. His cardio is pretty mediocre, though. This fight, to be honest, bores me. It's a heavyweight fight, but I'm not really that excited for it. I'm going to pick Dante Almeida by third round TKO. I just don't think Rodrigo Nascimento is that good, if I'm being honest. We have made it to the co-main event where Gabriel Bonfim takes on Nicholas Dalby. Let's start with Gabriel. His last fight was a win against Trevin Giles in July of 2023 at UFC 291. I was there, by the way. His BJJ is insane. His guillotine is a work of art. Wild on the feet, overextending at times. He likes to just throw a bunch of random shit. Do not leave your neck open when fighting Gabriel. That is a fucking death sentence. Good clinch work and takedowns. We saw that in the Trevin Giles fight. Striking leaves many openings, and he can get hit. We saw that in the Mionir Lazez fight. Wild fucker, the Bonfim brothers. Let's go to Nicholas. His last fight was a win against Muslim Salikov in June of 2023. Good takedown defense. He uses his clinch really, really well with knees in control. Slick boxing combos, mixes in leg kicks and body kicks as well. He's got good cardio, even though he breathes heavy as fuck. That's something that they're going to mention on the broadcast. They're like, Nicholas Dalby's breathing out of his mouth. That's just how he fights. Sometimes struggles in the pocket, can get taken down, and when taken down, he's on his back for quite a few. I'm going to pick Gabriel Bonfim by first round submission. Nicholas Dalby is a way harder fight than Trevin Giles and Munir Lazez, but I think Gabriel Bonfim is that good where he's going to find yet another submission. I'm going to assume guillotine because that's just what he's good at. We have made it to the main event where Jailton Almeida will be fighting Derek Lewis in a 5-round main event. Let's start with Jailton. Last fight was a win against Jairzinho Rosenstrike in May of 2023. Jailton is super strong and has godly speed with his double leg takedowns, blast doubles, single legs. His control and deafening transitions hurt to watch sometimes. When in dominant positions, hands will fly. Jailton slams hammer fists like he's trying to put a fucking nail in a wall. He looks for submissions. He makes people shook. The face Jairzinho had on his face after he got submitted was like, what the fuck, man? Jailton's striking isn't something to write home about, and he leaves openings. The Shamil fight, he got cracked in the first, 10 seconds. It was crazy. Let's go to Derek Lewis. His last fight was a win against Rogerio de Lima in July of 2023. I was there again. Crazy power on the feet, sandbags to get the finish. Sandbagging meaning he's like, oh, I'm so tired. Bah! Specialty moves like flying knees or jumping kicks. That's something that you'll see from Derek Lewis. Like in the Rogerio fight, he threw a flying knee. In other fights, he'll throw like a jumping switch body kick or like wheel kicks. It's fucking wild. His takedown defense is some of the worst in the division, though. He struggles off his back unless he just stands up sometimes, which is something he does. His gas tank is about as good as an asthmatic 5-year-old during a marathon. This fight's going to be wild. I'm picking Jailton Almeida by first round submission. Probably going to be an RNC, rear naked choke. The only way Derek Lewis is going to win this is if he lands an uppercut or flying knee on Jaehy Almeida. If it gets to the ground, he is not going to be able to stand back up. Jaehy is just so fucking strong. I wish that fucking Curtis Blades didn't pull out, because this fight just saddens me. I'm UFC Thoughts, and these have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC São Paulo, Almeida vs. Lewis on November 4th, 2023. My confident picks reside with Renato Fakhretdinov, Gabriel Bonfim, and in the main event, Jaehy Almeida. My pre-card rating is a 7 out of 10. This card looked very good when it first got proposed, but with weight misses and bullshit like that, it dropped a couple positions. I wish the main event would have stayed Jaehy versus Curtis Blades. That fight would have been fucking insane. But now we get to see Derek Lewis get sacrificed to the fucking Wolves. I'll see you guys after the fights. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.